Mr. Abbott's day began with a guard of honour at Parliament House. This is the first trip for Mr. Abbott to PNG as Australian Prime Minister, but Mr. Abbott is no stranger to the country. He visited PNG twice before, as a student in 1980 and later as a journalist in 1988. He met Governor-General Grand Chief Sir Michael Ogier at Government House before returning to Parliament to continue bilateral talks with counterpart Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. A large Australian business contingent was part of the delegation, included the likes of rugby league icon Petero Sivanasiva. In a closed-door meeting with PNG's cabinet ministers, discussions were frank and said to be fruitful. They talked on trade and the Manus Processing Centre. Then the signing of the exchange of notes on economic cooperation treaty between both prime ministers. Most of the questions directed to the Prime Minister by the media was focused on the Manus Processing Centre. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill says before resettlement takes place, a legislative framework has to be passed on the floor of Parliament. But while that's taking place, processing will continue.
We will, of course, process those who have now been interviewed for processing, and we will be dealing with them as quickly as possible in the course of the next few weeks and months.
Mr. Abbott expressed gratitude to the PNG government, stating the Manus issue was a sensitive one.
I was extremely gratified to have from Peter this morning his assurance that the people and government of PNG are committed to staying the course, and I'm very grateful that the regulatory process is in train so that the settlement process can begin by May-June.
It's been found a great number of refugees are economic refugees and not genuine refugees. The visa issue was also a question directed to Mr. Abbott.
We are working towards better processes. We've already got the ability of PNG citizens to apply for visas online. We've already got fast-track entry at Brisbane and Cairns Airport. What we're now going to work on is trying to ensure that the PNG system and the Australian system can